We're here with John Claite, who's had a bit of a cult following on Perth Turf Talk over the years. John's had a distinguished career in the saddle, winning the Perth Cup in 2003 aboard Turmeric, and in his last 3 years riding he had a strike rate of in excess of 10%. John hung up the boots in August 2010. Most of us will remember his last winner aboard Vane Raider in the Roma Cup. How was that to finish on a winner like that, John?
Well, it was good and bad, Matt. Nice to come off a suspension and to ride a winner like that for Jimmy Taylor. He quinelled the race. It was a huge buzz to win the Roma Cup for the second time for me. I won it on Real Presidente year before, so 2 years before that. So no, it was good. But on a sour note, it did. I ended my career the following Wednesday when I fell and tore my knee apart. So yeah. So
at the time you didn't really see that as your swan song. You were hoping to ride on after that?
I was looking to go right to the end of the carnival. I was going to seriously consider my career after the carnival. I actually was nearly negotiating my last contract in Mauritius, and then come back for the carnival, and then looking at hanging my boots up after that. But once that injury came, it brought everything to a halt very quickly.
Yeah. Keeping fit and healthy was obviously paramount in prolonging your career as a jockey. Was that the motivation in starting the business that you're in at present?
Pretty much. Yeah, it's always. I saw the benefits out of it. It kept me in the game for an extra 15 to 16 years, training with Matt Fuller, and he taught me things that I really didn't know a long time ago, and probably would have benefited me a long time before it did. But fortunately, I was able to find him to teach me things that I know now, and naturally to pass it on to the apprentices and to fall into a job under Rawa, looking after the apprentices. It's worked out really good. So
that's your role now, pretty much, fitness and health for the apprentices coming through?
Yes, exactly. Fitness, strength and conditioning, and the ones that are starting to find a few difficulties with their weight, I pretty much work out a diet for them and an exercise regime, and they work out with me as much as they like, at least 1 or 2 sessions a week, and help them through so that they can prolong their career in the saddle.
So what else are you doing at the moment? You're managing a few jockeys?
I manage 3 jockeys,
yep.
Marco Chu, Jared Noski and apprentice Haley Dina.
Yep, okay. So just talking about Jared for a minute, he's obviously a kid that's had a few issues with his disqualification, but also probably in the same boat as you used to be. He's got to keep on top of his weight. He looks to have come back riding in really strong form. What have you been doing with him throughout the break?
Yeah, Jared, yes, he has. He's always struggled with his weight. Prior to going to Melbourne, I was helping him with his fitness and whatnot, and when he came back when he broke his wrist over there and came back, I was also involved with Jared in getting his weight down and getting his fitness levels up, and he was down riding 53 over the carnival, and his strength has always been there, his natural ability has always been there as well, but keeping on top of his weight, is a constant battle, and actually when he got that stretch out of the saddle, and 6 months is a long time for anyone, and myself, I know 6 months would do to me, and it's done exactly to him as well. But look, he's come back, and I've taken over his management and his fitness, and for the first 3 or 4 weeks, I wouldn't let him run under 57 because he dropped a considerable amount of weight between his last 6 to 8 weeks prior to coming back, and so I kept him at 57 for 2 or 3 weeks, and gradually we're down to 55 at the minute, and really happy with that. And he's comfortable, he's riding really well, and his strength hasn't lost any strength, and his motivation is really good. So, and as time goes on, hopefully we'll get him down another kilo or two, just one step at a time, so that we don't burn him out too quick, and just do all the right things in all the right ways.
So you see him riding at about 54 long term?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once the summer comes back, for sure.
Now, do you also see yourself as a bit of a mentoring role for a bloke like Jared, who's, you know, had a little bit of trouble in the past?
Yeah, I think you know, I've been in the game a long time, as they say, but and you know, the racing game is a roller coaster ride, and you know, it has its pressures, and it's, you know, it has its highs and it has its lows, and probably more lows than highs sometimes. So I think, you know, outside his parents, which I think have been a very big role to him, I think having me, I think, can only be a positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Now you've picked up another young lad from Hong Kong by the name of Marco Chui. Rode his first winner obviously on Saturday last race. Marco is starting to get some good rides, obviously, through a little bit of groundwork by himself. What sort of work is he doing to pick up his own rides? Is he sort of going to track work and so on and so forth?
Oh, that's a number one priority. You know, even myself, you know, when I was riding on track work is a priority here in WA. It's something that you can't afford not to do, and he has been doing exactly that. He's had a very good association with Brendan Fitzgerald, which he rode Rocking the Blues for on the weekend, and that was great timing, and off a you know, unsuccessful but a good week at Kalgoorlie over the round. Plenty of rides, and you know, 2 rides and rides in both the majors, the Hannons and the Kalgoorlie Cup, with no result, but he did manage to make a mark in over the round, and have the rides on yesterday and to finish off with a winner. But he has been making good progress with a lot of trainers: Ivan Haggerty, Shane Edwards, Russell Stewart, Brendan Fitzgerald, Michael Powell, Stan Bates. So he's getting around and he's meeting a lot, and as time goes on, you'll find that the popularity and, you know, will come forth, and you'll find that over the next 6 months he'll be a fairly high, strong force.
Because the skill level's definitely there.
Definitely there.
Yeah.
I had no hesitation in taking role as his manager.
So how did you come about?
It was actually Russell Stewart did give me a call. I did watch him ride the trials when I was doing my homework on the trials when he first rode, and I was pleasantly surprised to see him ride a couple of nice horses, and the way the way that he rode them out, and he stood out quite significantly, and then sure enough, 2 or 3 days later, Russell gave me a call and said that he'd made up a friendship with Marco and asked me if I'd consider it. I took a couple of days to consider it, but once I went over the replays, I didn't take much to say no.
All right, and where can they find Marco? Via you, or is he doing track work at Belmont, Ascot, or?
He does track work at Ascot,
Yep.
and he goes to Belmont Tuesdays and Saturdays for Ivan around 7 o'clock. After he does his trainers here at Ascot, otherwise contact me 24/7. Phone's always on.
Beautiful. Thanks, John.
All right.
Cheers.
Thank